Hello, cosmic beings. Welcome to Being Cosmic. If this is your first time here, welcome, welcome. If you're returning, welcome back. I am so glad that each and every one of you are here. My name is Devon, and I will be doing a collective message today. So, with that, take what resonates and leave what doesn't. Into the message. All right. Um. Whoa. Okay. Huh. What was the first term? Oh, it was divine timing. Okay, I thought I split it on the exact same two cards. I was like, oh, I've never done that before, but I didn't. Anyways, okay. So, yes, thank you for being here. Thank you for your time. Thank you for your support on the channel. The likes, shares, comments, subscribes, and the donations all really do help out. So, thank you, thank you, thank you. And if you're interested in a personal reading from me, you can find that information in the description box below. Okay, so the message is kind of coming through already. There's something here about going the distance and following your heart space. There's something about victory and success. There's something about divine timing, and there's something about bringing balance to a situation, internal balance, something like that. So let's see. Okay. Happy, happy. All of these. Okay. Okay. Right. So the way that these cards came out, it's kind of interesting. So we've got happy, happy on the top of like the table desk thing. Um, and it's like, okay, so this is what I'm getting is like, this is the internal state of being that you are shifting into, that you are desiring to be in on a regular basis, like, just happy, happy, right? Living life, living your best life. And then we've got, okay, so there's a feminine energy who is either very grounded and financially stable, or this is somebody who's very materially focused. I'm getting kind of two energies off of this, so take it as it resonates. There's one, the one that's like just materially focused is more of just kind of karmic-y, maybe not completely, but just very materially focused, not really internally focused, not really, doing their internal work, we'll say. Just very externally focused. So there's that energy coming through. Then there's another energy of like a grounded, stable, financially secure person, but that's more of an energy of somebody who is doing the internal work and then they've grounded in some of that stability. Um, so there is chaos and conflict when it comes to this situation. Time for a nap. Okay, I'm getting that there's a difficulty in really resting right now and really rejuvenating. So you could just kind of be just tired, just like energetically a little drained. And that could be making it challenging to be in this happy energy. Then we've got crown chakra. So this sits at the top of the head. The color is violet or white, and it has to do with receiving cosmic guidance, divine insight. Um, so it's receiving, cosmic knowledge. And then we've got soulmates. Okay. So, okay. That message. Hmm. Okay. So what I'm getting, I was looking at this energy in a little bit of a different way, and what I'm getting for some of you, what's happening is, and this could be a counterpart situation. Okay, so it just take it as it resonates. We do have soulmates out here, so this is a high level soul connection. Okay, so there's something here with finances being a cause for chaos or conflict. And then there's also this energy of maybe there's conflict between you and another person that you're viewing as financially secure and stable. There, it's a feminine energy. And then it's making it really difficult to really rest and sleep and feel this happy, happy energy because you're getting like cosmic insight about this soulmate connection. You're getting this insight about who this person is to you. It's a cosmic connection. It's a divine connection. And something that could have also happened is if you've been experiencing connections in a more physical way, then, go through some spiritual awakening stuff and all of that, then all of a sudden, obviously, that's going to cause chaos and conflict when you go through spiritual awakening because everything that's no longer aligned with that version of you has to go. So it causes some chaos. But it's needed chaos. Remember that. And then part of where it could be difficult to rest is because when you start connecting with somebody through the ethers and you can feel their energy, you're dreaming about them, you're thinking about them, you're just like kind of constantly thinking about that person, and then it kicks up a different desire, which is the desire for a soul connection, for a higher level love, basically. um And so you can kind of get to a point on this journey where like a physical connection is no longer enough. You're desiring that deeper connection, that soul connection, that cosmic connection. And then it's one of those, now that you're aware that you have a connection of this magnitude, it's almost this energy of like, I'm getting kind of this energy of like, I have to know. I have to, there's so much going on here. The curiosity of, is this person feeling it, does this person share these feelings or these desires, like there's, I have to know. And so that could be kind of the energy you're in right now, and it's making it difficult to be happy because you're being drawn to somebody in a very divine way. There's no other way to explain this type of connection. There's no logical way to explain it. There's no nothing. It transcends the physical plane. Yeah, and then we've got go the distance and hostilities. So this could definitely be the energy of wanting to close the gap, wanting to communicate with this person, wanting to know if they're experiencing this too, but then also battling yourself like, well, what if they're not? What if this is all in my head? That kind of energy where you're going back and forth, you're going back and forth. And, that's going to make it hard to rest as well. Um, Okay, for some of you, you could feel like this is a temptation, that it's too good to be true. Um, it's not though. I understand why, I understand it. Because again, in this energy, I don't feel like you're actually talking to this person. Okay, what else? Okay. You could be pulling away from a lot of people right now. Um, because it kind of came out like almost in reverse. And so what I'm getting is there could be stuff here where you're pulling away from people and not engaging in certain things that maybe you used to. Maybe you just don't want to be around a lot of people right now, and that's okay. There's certain times on this journey where we are called to go within. We are called to pull back from other people because we're reorienting internally. We're adjusting to our internal energy. We're adjusting to the guidance that's coming in. We're adjusting to all of these awarenesses and everything else. And so when you're going through a process of this magnitude, hanging around people who don't understand what you're going through, it just makes it exponentially more difficult because you're over here dealing with something that most people don't ever have the privilege of dealing with. And then trying to explain it to people who are especially more logical minded, not really aware of the interworkings of, you know, the spiritual realm in the interplay in the physical realm. Explaining something of this magnitude to somebody is really difficult. It's a lot of like, oh, that's just rumination. Oh, that's just this. Oh, that's just that. And it's like, no, dude, I'm fucking telling you, like, it's so much more than that. It transcends all of that. Like, I've done everything I can do to not think about this person, to release them, to do this, to do that. And it's just like, no matter where I go, they're there. No matter how hard I focus on something else, they're there. They're in the background. They're always there. And then in this situation, it just depends on, what happened, because I'm getting that you know this person. So sometimes you'll get this insight and this awareness of new people that are soul connections before you meet them. This is definitely something of there's a past situation here with this person. And then it's like you're just constantly thinking about them. And even if you were to think about the entire time you've been in a physical separation from them, there is you can consciously remember times where you didn't talk to this person and then you were going through something in life and their energy came in. You started thinking about them randomly. Um, for some of you, okay, for some of you, what I'm getting is because I'm getting that there was a romantic connection between you and this person at one point in this lifetime. And it could have been this energy where like you were connecting with new people and then they always fell short. There was always something they never nobody else ever rose to this standard that this person set. And it's because of that soul connection. Um it is what it is. For some of you this is like your highest level soulmate that you have on the planet. And so nobody else is ever going to fully connect with you in that way, just because of that soul compatibility, that soul recognition, and then that just, that undercurrent of just like, you're like me in ways, in these deep, deep ways. And it's like that recognition. And so this, yeah, yeah. And there could have been a situation where, well, yeah, there definitely was where your heart was broken when it came to this situation. And so for some of you, this is communicating with this person about what happened. And then, I feel like there is a desire to be with this person. I feel like interesting. So what I just heard was like this is your ultimate happiness. Like when you think about your ideal version of reality and then you think about the person that's standing there next to you taking on life with you, it's this person. And like you could find happiness with another person, if they met certain criteria, but like the ultimate it's like the ultimate happiness is this person. Um, and I mean, again, it's soul connection stuff, baby. Like, it is. And in this, we'll see. We'll see if we get the counterpart card because I'm getting counterpart energy. And so I just want you to know if you're really feeling like this and you're suspecting that this is literally your counterpart, that is mutual. Just so you know. Door to personal healing and happiness. And so there is something here about mending this broken heart and being able to really embody that energy of happiness. Mm. Mm-mm-mm. Okay. What else is going on? That one. Clean it up. Okay. Oh, okay. Yeah. For some of you, you're really being guided to go the distance and clean it up. Like clean up the situation between you and this person. What I'm hearing is like there is a great potential here for you to reconnect with this person right now. in a very deep, meaningful way. And so if you allow yourself to take those steps and clean this up, what you're not seeing on the other side of this, and maybe you are getting glimpses of it, and it's one of those, like, you're just thinking maybe it's just daydreams or fantasizing or things like this, but it's one of these things that, like, some of those things that you're daydreaming about with this person, that is a real potential for you to experience in the physical realm. Um, okay, just a second. Okay, so I was scrolling a little bit earlier and screenshotted this, and then I was guided to actually read it to you. So what it says is nobody tells you this. The version of yourself that you're ashamed of was the version doing its absolute best with terrible resources, limited information, underdeveloped brain, impossible circumstances. Judging that version with today's resources is like criticizing a fish for not climbing a tree. And one, I loved the visual of a fish climbing a tree. It made me very happy. And there's a little nugget in there for you. Find something that you can smile about. Um, the more you can find those little things to just like fish climbing a tree, that's just what a sight, you know? And just allow yourself to just be in that energy of just like, how wonderful, even if it's for 30 seconds. The more you consciously do things like that, the more you're going to be able to internally shift to where you're feeling happier on a more regular basis. Um, and then of course there is this thing here. It's like this looming energy. You're being guided. Yeah, it's definitely could be counterpart energy. Okay. It's like this looming energy because you're being guided to do something but you don't know the outcome. Um, and that's stressful. There's also the element of shame or guilt about this situation that I feel like is really fucking prevalent. And the difference between guilt and shame is guilt is I did something bad. Shame is I am bad. And they sit in different chakra centers. So shame sits in the solar plexus, which sits at the belly button, and then guilt sits in the sacral, which is between the belly button and the base of the spine. And so guilt can block pleasure, creativity, sensuality. Shame can block willpower, confidence, and worthiness. And so I feel like this is something you've been clearing. Just be really mindful to do your best not to get stuck in that energy of shame or guilt because just like that said, like you were operating from a different place. And so now you can sit there and you can get stuck in the shame and the guilt of the past, or you can say, okay, I see it for what it is now. And what can I do about it now? What am I being asked to do about it now? And I feel like it is to allow yourself to clean this up, to have this conversation with this person, to really get down to it, and really, for some of you, it was one of these situations where this person didn't even know fully, how you felt about them. And maybe for a while you didn't know how you felt about them. Maybe you didn't really clock it right away. Maybe it was one of those like you knew you felt different with this person, but you didn't realize you were completely in love with this person. So it could be something like that too. And if that's the case, it's okay. It's just this is coming to your awareness and you're being guided to do something about it for a bigger reason. And it's not just to sit you in more pain and more shame and more guilt and more whatever. It's for you to actually go be able to clean this up so you can release that from the past. And then there's this beautiful potential here with you and this other person that you could, really have something with. Okay. Okay, financial constraints could definitely be a factor here. This has come up in the energy quite a bit. Um, hmm. I mean, it's one of these things, like, it's difficult because of the world we live in, right? We rely on, it's a resource. So money is a resource. Currency is it's a currency. It's a resource. It's an energy. And the thing is if you're in a really broken-hearted energy, it's going to be really difficult for you to attract in more financial abundance. And so that could be part of why you're being called to do this now as well, is because the flip side, what you don't see fully, is by you going and cleaning this up with this person is most likely going to have a very positive effect on your finances as a byproduct. It's not that this person, I'm not getting that it's like this person's gonna, and maybe for some of you, but it's one of these things, like, it's not necessarily that this person's going to give you extra finances or something like that, or even that you want them to. Like, I don't even feel like you really want them to. It's just one of these things that it's a byproduct of it, because when you heal your heart space and you clean it up and you release yourself from the chains of the past, it allows you to fully pull into the present moment. And then when you're more in a wholehearted energy in the present moment, your finances are going to naturally increase. It's just a byproduct of it. So that could definitely be a hidden factor here, where the thing that's stopping you is the thing that can be cleared up very rapidly by you doing this, by you taking this action. We've got Goddess of the Moon, and this is very intuitive energy. For some of you, so I definitely could be talking to a masculine here. For some of you, I feel like this is how you're viewing your person, like this image on the card, just very etherical, very etheric, very like mystical, magical, um, very intuitive. I am getting that this is a divine feminine energy that you have your eye on. And so, that feminine energy is probably, accessing otherworldly stuff. And so it's not that surprising that you see this person that way. Um, and the interesting thing is it's one of those, like, you are accessing some of that frequency and that energy as well. So it's like two conscious beings coming together. Um, we're all divine. It's just this is, I'm talking to somebody who has an awareness that they are, a divine being, basically. However you view it, you know that you have a connection to source. We'll just put it that way. Um, and so you are getting intuitively led here. And it's interesting because I'm getting like there is still that energy of kind of being up in your head, but it doesn't feel as intense. Hmm. Okay. Okay, we've got the thinking woman. There's the solar plexus. Hey. So yeah, there definitely could be solar plexus healing here. You could be working on like things, worthiness wounds, self-confidence stuff, releasing shame, that kind of thing, which we already kind of talked about. And then the thinking woman. Okay, honestly, we've got a lot of feminine cards on the table, but I don't feel like I'm reading for a feminine energy. So we all have an internal balance of masculine and feminine energies, and then we tend to resonate towards one polarity more than the other. And I'm getting that I'm reading, like, I feel like you are more in your divine masculine energy. You resonate more with your masculine polarity, and then you're focused on a feminine energy. And so you could be viewing this feminine as very intellectual, very um intelligent, maybe very communicative, and then also very stable and grounded. And so it's okay, what that's doing, and also very like etheric and magical. And so it's like you're over here, yeah, that fucking okay. Do another pep talk today. All right. So you're viewing this person as all the things. Um, just like all the things, like everything that you could wish for, and then everything that you didn't know you wanted in one package, in one person. And then you're sitting there and you're viewing your person through that lens, and then you're looking at yourself and you're like, what could I offer? What could it's worthiness stuff. It's, I'm getting that you could be viewing this person as like they could have anybody that they want. So why even go make them an offer when there's no way they would choose me? And it's funny because I can feel the energy, and it's just so funny because it's like this feminine is locked onto you. Um, and like that's my fish. Like that one comes in, that's my fucking fish. Um, and it's like you don't realize, you don't understand why. And one, it's an energy thing, straight up. It's a soul connection energy thing. The other thing too is I'm getting this energy of like you don't realize how much you've helped your person energetically. And so it's interesting because it's like you're sitting there, you're looking at yourself through this worthiness, lens, like worthiness wound lens, more or less. Maybe you're looking at your physical life and you're like, well, what can I offer this person that they don't already have with this financial constraints card? And then you're just like this is my dream person, but they could have anybody, so why would they choose me? And okay. The thing is, oh, hold on. So what I'm being guided to do is something I don't know if I can get through without crying. Okay. Oh. I paused it to pull myself together, and then I was like, am I really being guided to do this? Really being guided to do it. So, okay. That whole, vulnerability thing. All right. I really feel like I'm talking to somebody on the counterpart journey. And you're sitting there and you're looking at yourself through a very specific lens. You're not looking at yourself fully. The thing that you have to offer your person, especially in this situation where you're being like divinely guided to your person right now, what you have to offer transcends the physical plane. It's not about finances. It's not about, of course, that's a factor. Don't get me wrong. It's just, it's so beyond that. It's just an energy thing. Like, it's just, you affect your person in a way that nobody else does. You bring out things in your person that nobody else does. Just like they bring out parts of you that nobody else does. You open them up in a way that probably nobody else does. And it's just an energy thing. Like, oh, um, yeah, dude, it transcends the physical shit. Like, it's about so much more. Um, and you hit a certain point where you are made aware of a type of connection that is just different. It's spiritual. It's a spiritual connection. It's a and especially like if this is a counterpart, it's literally like that is the only person that can see you in a certain way, and you see them just like that. Like the effect that has is just it's rare. It's very, very rare. And so the fact that you're being called to your person right now, there's a divine reason for it. And the thing is this is where you get to look at yourself and see that what you have to offer is something that transcends the physical plane. It's a natural there's a natural containment that the divine masculine offers the divine feminine that the feminine can find in other people, but not quite like the way you bring it. It's and again, this is beyond physical stuff. So like of course the physical passion's going to be off the charts, but it's so much more than that. It's a big thing that you offer your person and you may not realize it is a sense of safety, and it's an energy thing. And it's funny because you might not realize it, but you are already offering that to your person energetically. Had to pause it to blow my nose. Anyhow, um, so here's the thing, and I don't know why I'm being guided to share this, but here we go. Fucking story time. Um, there's probably factors that you're unaware of when it comes to your person. Because the thing is, okay, so in my instance, and I'm not like a lot of divine feminines. I'm a little bit different. I have a I just kind of an enigma, a walking paradox. That's just, and one of my fucking purposes here is to trigger people into, into higher versions of themselves. When you walk around the planet and you trigger almost every fucking person you meet at some point, most of the time, people don't take those as activations. They take them as, triggers and then they project it. And so I've spent most of my life walking around in that experience. And now I know what's going on. It's a lot easier to navigate, but it's a lonely fucking path sometimes. And to have the gift of having somebody be able to take those as activations and not, you know, something to reject. I'll be honest, I don't even know what that would feel like. Like, you know, long term. um, it just it is what it is, and so, oh, mm, mm, mm. And it's cool. Like I'm not like I know that's part of my purpose, right? But it can get fucking lonely. And that's all right. That's all right. It's all good. That's, we find happiness viewing fish climbing trees. It's all good. It's just one of those, that's what you offer. Oh, vision spirit out for this one later. Ugh. That's what you offer your person. It transcends the physical. So remember that. And I kept saying it for for like the past few days in readings is like, you are worthy. You're worthy as you are now. You don't see it, but you are. And this is why. It's that kind of shit. Like you've come far enough on the journey. You're being called to your person. And it's because your person is ready for you and you're ready for them. Are you fucking fully healed? No. Are they fully healed? No. Are you fully financially and physically where you want to be? No. Is your person? Maybe. Maybe not. Like I can say that you're not because this financial constraints card is here. Your person, I don't know. Um, I'm not tapping into their energy. I'm getting like I'm getting talked to by the divine feminine higher self, but we're not deep diving into their energy. So the thing is it's allowing yourself to see what you have to offer at that soul level, at that energetic level, and allowing yourself to see it from the lens of, if this person is activating you and you are taking those activations and rising into your highest version, what you probably don't see is energetically you are activating your person to face a lot of their shadow and their wounds and things like that as well, because that's the point. And that's where this really fucking feels like a counterpart, because that is a hallmark of a counterpart. is when you think of them, it's funny. Fucking okay. Anyways, I haven't been it's been a long time. I'll just put it that way. I haven't been with mine in a very long time. Um, but the funny thing is over the years, it was like I would just he was the one I could never let go of. And I tried. Fuck, I tried. But it was just like he was always there. He was just in the background. He was just below the surface. And then sometimes he would just come up randomly. I'd start thinking about him. I would think about him at times I shouldn't have been thinking about him. Like he would just pop in and I'd be like, what the fuck, And then for a long time I thought it was like ego or something, or a wound or this or that, right? I had all these reasons why. And then the thing that I noticed, and this is why I said, like, you are protecting your person energetically, whether you realize it or not. Because for me, and this is something kind of normal with counterparts, especially because you have this soul contract, it's the other fucking half of you, right? Like your growth and your expansion and their growth and their expansion is really fucking connected. It's really tied together. And so it's just funny because I remember when I was really coming to the awareness of this connection and what it was and everything else, it made so much make sense. And then I thought about it and I was like, holy shit. There were times when I was like digging myself out of the seventh pit of hell and about to give up, and his fucking energy would come in out of nowhere. And for whatever reason, it would spark that, like, you got this, you can do this. And it was just it wasn't huge or anything like that, it was just a presence. And I would just think about him, but I didn't know that's what was happening for a long time. I was just like, I got some issues. Like, I can't let this one go, and I've tried. Um, but, it's these kinds of things, and so it's one of these things, like, even if you don't go towards this person now, you 2 are helping each other energetically regardless of the physical contact. There's something here where you you're being guided to do this thing that you don't know the outcome of, and you don't know the outcome by design. And even if you were to hear me tell you 15 times till I'm blue in the fucking face that this person desires you, there's going to be a part of you that isn't going to believe it, and that's okay. That's where you get to go get your own confirmation in the physical realm. You get to go tap into that inner strength, tap into that courage, and say, you know what? Fuck it. I've got to know. I need to know. Is this all in my fucking head or not? And once you know, then you get to move forward. And so it's one of those things that there's also this part healing that is going to happen in this situation when you reconnect with this person. And so whether or not the reconciliation is going to end up in you and your person living happily ever after or not, it's one of these things that the profound healing that you're going to experience is going to uplevel your life in so many ways. And so that's the biggest reason why you're being called to your person now, is to have this other activation, to have this healing. And then from there, you and your person can talk and decide in the physical realm what's next. Okay. Anyhow. Well, I hope my little story time sharing was helpful. It's funny because I'll fight spirits sometimes. I'm like, I don't want to do it. Like, I don't want to cry on camera. I don't want to go into that amount of vulnerability. And then spirit's like, do it. And then when I do it, and then I find out later that it actually really helps. It's all worth it, It's just, we've all got our shit, right? So yeah, fucking fourth chakra. That's the heart. That's, it's the heart. It's the heart space. It's the color's green, sits in the middle of your chest, the energy center does. Um, it governs love. Um, and it's blocked by grief. And so if you've got a lot of grief when it comes to this situation, that's a part of why you're being called forth now, is so that you can fully release that grief, so that you can find that internal sense of healing. And there are certain things where we heal a lot on our own behind closed doors and everything else. And we look at internal childhood wounds and heal the inner child and do all these things. And then there's certain things where we are guided to actually heal certain stuff with another person. And especially if you're a little hyper independent, it's difficult to, you know, have that realization like, okay, this is something I'm being called to do with another person. But the thing is it's one of these things that's like you wouldn't be called to this person at this point in the way that you're being called to them if there wasn't more going on. Oh, okay. So I recentered myself a little bit so we can finish this message. All right. Let's see here. Anxiety and cornucopia. Okay, so this is manifestations. This is dream reality stuff coming in. Um, it's giving you anxiety. So, it's one of those things where you're being called into your dream reality. This is really what this is about right now. Okay. I had to make sure I was actually recording. Anyways, so you're being called into your dream reality at this point, and you're ready for it. There's a part of you that's telling you you're not ready for it, and that's the old identity trying to hook in. So just remember that. Um, you're ready for this. You really are, and I can tell in your energy that you're ready for this. Whew. I just got like just got a lot of energy in the heart space. Hold on. So, whew. All right. Woman holding a heart. Okay. So that's a feminine energy. So yeah, this is really indicating. Ooh. Okay, what I heard was the person that you have your eye on right now is the one that's holding your heart. And the funny thing is that it's mutual. There's there's a part of yeah, I'm really yeah, temple path. So this is definitely a divine connection. Um, it's an energy of like there was a part of you when you went to a physical separation where it was like a part of you walked away with that other person. And no matter what you did, you couldn't get that part back. And it's a soul connection thing, it's an activation thing, it just is what it is. And it's not saying you couldn't be happy with somebody else. It's just that this type of connection brings out a part of you that most likely nobody else will. And it's not saying you have to be with this person or anything like that. And that could be part of where you're being called for towards this person now too, is to have another activation. And it's one of those like you could find happiness, you can find love, you can find all of these things that you're desiring in another person. The thing is though, is it's like you can have your ideal person. So why not go have that? That's kind of like kind of the message. Um, it's like you could settle and you could find, at this point on your journey, you can find a soulmate that is compatible and, you get along and everything else. It's just this is a connection that is going to call you to it for a reason. And it probably does have to do with an activation. It's also the divine seeing the most likely outcomes here and being like, you can have it all. So why not let yourself have it all? Like, you can have everything that you're desiring. So why not allow yourself to just have it? And that's where, enter in worthiness wounds. um and that's a factor. But it's one of those things, like, are you going to allow that to stop you from going and getting your ideal person? Because what I'm getting in this energy is like, you're healed enough, you're awake enough, you're aware enough, you're on the path enough. Like, you're on the path. That is enough. Let it be enough. Let that be enough. Let the fact that you are willing to do what it takes to become your best version, whatever that means, continuously. And then you've got a person who's doing the same thing. And then you're both activating each other into your highest potential on a regular basis. Why not allow yourself to have that? And again, you don't have to do this. This is a free will choice. It's just one of those, there's more writing on this than something like you receiving karma for, whatever, and you go towards your dream person and they reject you. Like, that's not what this is about. Um, so if that is a fear or a worry, pull into your knowing energy, pull into your intuition, and really, ask, like, is that the purpose of this or not? And you're going to get some intuitive guidance on it. It's just the mind, when you are about to experience a dream come true, your mind is going to freak the fuck out. It is what it is. When you're aligning with soul purpose, your mind, your ego is going to freak the fuck out. When you are going after your dream person, your mind's going to freak the fuck out, because it's one of those things that, one, it's fear of the unknown. The other thing too is, especially in this sense, we're talking matters of the heart. We're talking matters of vulnerability. We're talking matters of, this is the connection. That's where I'm really getting a counterpart. If it's not an actual counterpart, this is like one of your highest level soulmates that you have on the planet. And this person has the ability to see all the way in. And then you have that ability with your person too. And if you don't experience that on a regular basis, if you're the one that normally sees people and you aren't the one that's normally being seen fully like that, it's uncomfortable. It really is. It's like, oh shit, like, that I can't, my normal tactics of, like, you know, keeping this from others and not allowing people into this part of me. And it's that vulnerable inner world. If you're used to keeping people out of that, just because you've learned over the years probably that it just results in pain, going towards the person that you just stand there naked, and like, you're fully clothed, but it's like this person can fucking see you, and it's disarming. The thing is, though, is it's a gift as well. And so it's one of those, like, the divine is bringing you a gift wrapped in another person. And yes, it's requiring you to do something that's making you uncomfortable. However, it's gonna be so worth it on the other side of it. I just heard guaranteed happiness. Oh shit. Well, there. And rest and rejuvenation. Okay, yeah, if you've been really struggling with resting and rejuvenating and getting enough sleep and feeling energetically, like, fulfilled and all of that, there is something here where, by going towards this person, and it's like almost just like communicating with them, like just talking to them. And that's, again, like, it feels so counterparty because it's just like the activations. But that's what really makes a counterpart different than a soulmate. Soulmates can activate you. The counterparts will activate you at levels that others they just don't have access to unless you give them access to it. A counterpart has access. It is what it is. Um, if you've been really struggling to rest and rejuvenate and and all of that. It's one of these things like I'm feeling the energy shift of like that first conversation where you talk. And then all of a sudden it's just like all of these worries, all of these fears, all of these anxieties just instantaneously lift. And it's not that they're doing anything, it's just you communicating with them lifts this heaviness. And then it's funny because I'm seeing it on the feminine side too. So it's like on both sides that just lifts. Happy family. Okay. Contract. Yeah, I'm getting you have a soul contract. um with this person. And that's, that's part of the reason it's divine. It's a divine connection. There is a soul contract. And when there is a soul contract that is activated, interesting. For some of you, I heard that the soul contract like went dormant. That's an interesting way of thinking about it. It's like the soul contract went dormant for a little bit and then it was reactivated. When a soul contract is activated and you're being called to another person, there's a deeper reason for it. It has to do with your expansion, with your growth, with your healing, with your alignment, with all of those things. And so that's part of why you're being pulled so heavily to your person right now. And then we've got appreciation, change in the wind, and happy family. So you could be feeling, so some of these like deep-seated wounds and things like that could be lifting for you right now because there's like a change. That change in the wind is feeling like shifting from really feeling like you're not worthy of your person or there's no way this could be true. And then all of a sudden, it's like shifting into the appreciation of this person, of this connection, and then really allowing yourself to focus on that, go towards them, and then you're really, I'm being told, then you're really going to have something to appreciate. And so it's also an attitude of gratitude. And so it's allowing yourself to shift into that and be thankful for different things on the journey and just, whatever it is. Aligning with that attitude of gratitude is also going to help you up level your finances as well. So, little side nugget. And then happy family. This is union, reunion energy. This is two people coming together and having a beautiful, harmonious experience together and having a high level relationship, like a divine love is really what's coming through. And then for some of you, if you are desiring children, that could definitely be a potential with you and this person. For others of you, maybe it's combining families, maybe it's both. Or it's, just having that family energy with another person, whether you have kids or not. Because that's a very, personal decision. And I'm hearing that's what you're not fully seeing is that this is this is part of like this is what you're being called towards is to have this reunion energy, this reconciliation energy, and it is in alignment with your dream reality. And so it's one of these things that's like when you align with the version of yourself that is capable of holding your dream reality, once you take action on that like timeline, on that path, and you really solidify it, more of those things that you're visualizing and that you're desiring will show up for you. And I'm hearing like the divine say, you have no idea how good it's about to get. Um, so this is really you pulling in what you are desiring, what you are manifesting. And there's stuff here that's beyond just this connection, but this connection I feel like is at the forefront right now. This is something that is like if you're trying to focus on work, if you're trying to focus on finances, if you're trying to focus on leisure time, if you're trying to focus on, whatever it is, it's like this person in this connection is just at the forefront. And there's a reason this person and this connection is at the forefront right now. And it has to do with this potential that you have with this person. in what you're both calling in, what you're both manifesting at this time, which is, each other. Um, World. Okay, this is about completion of like an old way of living and aligning with a new way of being. And then it's also about expansion. Blessed. The divine is attempting to bless you with something from your dream reality, and you're just asking to allow yourself to align with it and get it, and it's your person. And so that's the thing too, is like sometimes it's one thing that we lock onto that's a part of our dream reality, and then all of a sudden all these other things start to flow. And so sometimes it's aligning with soul purpose, and the moment you align with soul purpose, things start to flow in this case it's a person for you. So it's one of these, once you allow yourself to connect with this person and communicate and align with them, that's like the confirmation for the universe of like, okay, you're about business. Like you're 10 toes down, like on this path. So let's bring you some more stuff. And it's also about the energetic shift that happens when you allow yourself to align with something of this magnitude, and then you see and feel and taste what's possible, and then spirit's like, yeah, let's bring you some more stuff that feels just like that. And then it's just like manifestation after manifestation coming in. Attachment. Okay. Mm. So there still could be some attachments to an old identity, to an old version of yourself, to maybe certain lifestyle stuff that you're being asked to release. This could be limiting beliefs, this could be wounds. This could be there's also that masking energy of like masking is a certain way. And maybe that's part of this too, is like if you've been walking around life having people view you in a certain way, and then this person brings out the authentic you, that that inner you, and brings that out, that could be part of what's a little bit stressful. Like if you've kind of put on this persona, which is normal, we all do it, you put on this persona, and that's your ego. And so it's, who you're presenting yourself to be to the outside world. And then you have this person who is like, I mean, yeah, I see that, and that's cool. And I also see all of you. And so it can be disarming, to be standing in front of somebody who can see you like that. Um, yeah, I mean, in that something, it's one of those like, I feel like by going towards this person, you're gonna have to be in an energy of like allowing yourself to be fully seen and authentic, and so on and so forth. And it's causing you to rise. This connection is causing you to rise. This person is bringing out the best version of you that you have access to right now, because that's ever changing. And it's interesting because I'm getting a very mirrored energy here. So it's like you're doing this to your person too, in an energetic way. So it's like energetically you're both activating each other and calling each other up to this higher version of yourself. And then what you're not fully seeing is like you are there. You're aligned enough with this person right now to be able to come together and sustain a physical connection of some sort, and then you can continue to walk the path with this person if you both choose to. And then you can continue to bring out that version of each other. And so it's one of those like, it's going to take a full surrender to the path though. And that's, maybe that's part of it as well, is like you want the alignment and you want to be on the path, but there's also a part of you that wants to hold on to some of the other stuff from your past. Maybe it's persona. And maybe that's part of it too, is it's one of those. Oh, okay. For some of you, because I feel like I'm talking to, well, yeah, I am definitely talking to a masculine. If you resonate with being, if you're a man, like a guy, Doesn't have to be, it's an energy thing. Or just, this just came through, so it might be really specific. So this could be a situation where maybe you've had the persona of, you're just the type, like, I'm getting like the energy of like a forever bachelor, where it's like maybe you've had some romantic connections. For some of you, maybe you've even like gotten married, but then it's one of those like it just didn't work out. And so you've worn this persona of like, yeah, if it happens, cool. If not, cool. I'm hanging out with this person and it's cool, but I'm not really putting a lot of stock into it, whatever. And then this person completely undoes you to a point like this is the person that you are head over heels for, and it's obvious to everybody around you. And so that might be part of what you're releasing right now, is how other people see you. So if you've been locked into that identity for a long time, and then all of a sudden here this opportunity comes for you to reconnect with this person that it's just it you just everybody can see it on you. And it's funny because yeah. Anyways, um, that's probably mutual. I'll just put it that way. Um, but it's one of those things that's something that you're going to have to release in order to actually lock this in, is kind of that fear of having other people look at you and say the bullshit. Oh, you're whipped. Oh, you're this. Oh, you're that. All that shit. And it's one of those like, it's and I mean it, yeah, especially in this type of situation where it's like it's very mutual, it's very supportive, it's very, it's mutually nurturing on that inner level. It's mutually safe. Like physically, but there's that emotional safety that I'm feeling in this connection. And so it's one of those, let people say what they want to say. But the thing is if you've been locked onto that identity for a while, it's going to take some time to fully release it and be okay with not being viewed in that way. Um, so maybe that's something that you're kind of working through right now, is like, okay, I know if I go towards this person and we lock this down and we're in this happy family energy, people are going to view me differently. Or, maybe there's certain things that like you like to do. Maybe you enjoy living alone, and then if you were to go towards this person that you would want to live with them. I'm hearing I just heard right away. So and maybe that's part of it too, is like if you've worked so long on keeping this identity of this is who I am and this just isn't a big priority and blah 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 blah, and then all of a sudden you have this come to the awareness to the forefront that not only are you desiring this happy family energy, you're desiring it with a specific person, they are your dream person, and it's going to change your entire life. Because if you're that bachelor energy of just like you live alone and you're not moving a chick into your house, and you're just, we can live in separate houses and it's all good and we'll have this connection, and if it works, it works. If it doesn't, it doesn't. Cool. And then all of a sudden it's one of those like this person activates that part of you that's like, no, I want it all. I want to live with them. I want to marry them. I want to fucking have kids with them. I want to do all the family stuff together. I want the family photos. Like if it's triggering that part of you, that desire to have some of those things, and it's going against an identity that you've been wearing for a long time, it's going to be a process. But it's one of those things like if this is what your soul is calling you to do, and you're feeling like if you put yourself, so you put yourself in a future potential where all of this stuff is taken care of. You've already talked to them, they're on board, everything's groovy, and now you're living together. If that potential brings you peace, joy, happiness, and it's like, and then you can see like potentials with this person and so on and so forth, then that's really what you're being asked to look at right now, is like, is it worth you holding on to this old identity, or is it worth you releasing that and allowing yourself to go for what you are now desiring? Yeah, buddy. So with that whole example, it was just an example. take it as it resonates. The thing is, though, is hopefully through what I was saying, you can kind of see how it's affecting you in your own on your own journey, because that's how those ego attachments work, is we lock into an identity, and then we do things in certain ways so that we can keep that identity and have people view us a certain way, because that's just what feels comfortable, that's what's normal, that's what we've done. And then all of a sudden a spiritual awakening comes along and breaks that shit down. And it happens in layers. It happens in waves. It's not linear. It's not something that's just like a one and done. It happens in waves, and it goes, because then, you can start attaching to new identities even after the awakening, and then you get to release those because you're ever finding that authentic version of yourself. And because we're ever expanding and ever changing and ever evolving, it changes. And so, it's something like, I've been on this journey for a while now, and post major awakening event, I've had to do this time and time again, where it's like, oh shit, now I'm locking into this identity. Okay, hold on. Remember, that's not who you are. That's just it's an attachment. And, and we can get attached to things when we're, spiritual. So it's just one of those, like, this is an ever an ever evolving thing. And that's part of the fun in the journey. For me, I like freaking rebirth all the time. I'm like, oh, and then this, and then, oh, and then I learned this, and now I'm going to try this thing, and now I'm going to try that thing. So, you know, and that might be part of it too, is because if your feminine is like that, I'm a little extreme, because that's just, again, that's, part of my whole purpose here. Um, but if your feminine is like that, where they're changing and evolving on a regular basis, and then you are on that same path where you're changing and you're evolving and you're accessing your highest potential, and in really being called to this path, that alone might be the biggest reason you're being called to come together now, because two people who are on that path, here's what happens. I'm speaking from experience. If you're with somebody romantically who is not on the path, it turns into a dissonance at some point. And then it's just one of those, then there's this push pull that happens within that relationship, where one person is growing and evolving and the other person isn't, and the other person's locking into more identity attachments and things like that, and then the other person's breaking down these ego attachments, tapping into authentic energy, so on and so forth. You'll just fucking vibrate out of alignment at some point, and then it can make it harder and take longer depending on who you are romantically with, because if that person is not on the same path and doing their own work and all of that, then it's just they're going to continue to try and pull you back into a version of you that you outgrew. And so this is about two people coming together and growing and evolving on the path together. It's not saying you're going to grow at the same time and evolve at the same time and heal at the same time and so on and so forth, but it's just two people walking that path together. The amount of growth and potential that has, and that can cascade out from you two, like into the fucking ethers, and soul purpose activates, and then you're, helping guide other people, or creating, inventions, or whatever it is. It's just, it's so expansive. It's like exponentially expansive, especially when there's two people who are on that same path. And so that's ultimately part of this, is you're on the path, your person's on the path. There is that soul compatibility. There is that resonance. And so you and your person coming together now to walk the path together now is going to be so expansive for both of you. And that's probably a big factor here that maybe you're not fully seeing, is this is like, it's like the shortcut for your dream life is to come together with this person, because you two helping to co-create together and focusing on similar goals and things like that, and having that, that calling to the path and to that growth and to that evolution at the soul level, and you walking the path with another person who's doing the same thing, it's so much more expansive than, one person being around, or just either bleh, even by yourself, if you choose to stay single. There's progress and everything that you can make on your own. It's just one of those when you have two people that are doing the same thing, it's even more expansive. There's more potential for it not to take as long to hit certain points on the path and evolve, and then, and especially if you're not around people who are trying to pull you back into old versions of yourself, then you can just continue to expand and grow and continuously evolve and live life and really enjoy life and make the most and the best out of life. And so it's a very expansive energy that you're shifting into. And I feel like you've been expanding, you've been evolving, you've been doing this inner work, you've been tapping into source, you've been doing these things. And now you're being called to walk this path with another person so you can grow and evolve and enjoy life together. And so that's ultimately like the biggest thing here, because there is this potential. Yeah, with the reunion card out here, I mean, it's all over this energy. It's two people that are desiring each other, that are both on the path, that want to walk the path together. And it's one of these things where I'm hearing the balls in the masculine's court. And so now it's up to you to close the gap, to go the distance, to open that line of communication and to align fully with your person in the physical realm so that you can, really walk this together in the physical. You've been walking this path energetically with your person this whole time, but now you're being called to physically walk this together. And it's just, I feel like it's going to be so healing. Like, this feels like it's going to be such a healing connection where, and maybe in the past you've experienced connections where it was just pain and drama and like it was all good at first and then it just, meh, went sideways. And then this is a situation where it's like you and this person come together and you help heal each other just through your presence. And it's not saying that you're responsible for their healing or they're responsible for your healing, nothing like that. It's just having that person that will walk this path with you. That in and of itself is an absolute blessing and a gift from the divine. And so it's really allowing yourself to go towards what it is that your heart is calling you towards, and your person. It's allowing yourself to go towards your person now and really accept this blessing that the divine is bringing you. And it's in the form of another person, and it's a gift that keeps on giving, is what I just heard. Like you and this person to each other are gifts to each other that keep on giving. So this is it's beautiful potential in this connection, and it's so possible, yeah, co-create. It's so possible for you two to come together and create a beautiful life together. I mean, the amount of alignment that I'm feeling between you and this person is just massive. It really, really is. There's the divine timing card. Um, yeah, this is really saying like their divine timing has been playing a role in this whole time too. So if you're looking at it and you're like, well, I missed my shot, I should have done this, I'll never have another chance, so on and so forth, you are being made aware of this connection now, and you're having the awareness of it now, and you're being called to your person now because it's in alignment with divine timing. And the thing is when divine timing is running things, when we allow ourselves to align with divine timing, then it's one of those like we work on our own alignment and then we follow divine timing, and then boom, that's when you experience these miracles and this truly feeling blessed and just really seeing the beauty in all of it. And now it's like you're co-creating with the divine, and you also have this beautiful potential to co-create with another person on some shared visions and shared goals and shared life stuff. See if anything else wants to come out. Milk and honey. Oh my gosh, that's the other fucking dream reality card. Um, okay. There, you could be internally deceiving yourself when it comes to divine timing because of root chakra stuff. So, the base chakra, the root chakra, sits at the base of the spine. The color is red. It has to do with our physical experience. So it's about survival, things like that. It's blocked by fear. So because of a fear, it could be a fear of not having enough. It could be a fear of whatever it is. There's a fear here that is telling you that divine timing isn't now. You're not ready. It's not ready, whatever. But it's it's a fear. Yeah, it's not actually what's going on. Divine timing is aligned with you now. And so it's allowing yourself to really truly see that you're ready now, you're worthy now. And there's a reason you're being called to your person right now. And I'm getting a couple insights on what's going on with your feminine and why the time is now. The thing is, this is the fun part of seeing things. I'm not being given clearance to tell you. And there's a reason for it because it's something that you are being asked to find out from your person. There's something here where the divine timing is aligned and it's perfectly aligned. And so if you allow yourself to release that fear and release that internal deceptive energy that's telling you not to go now because of blank, blank, blank. If you allow yourself to release that, really tap into your intuition and be like, okay, yeah, intuitively, I am being called to go for it. It's just scaring the shit out of me, but I'm going to go for it. When you talk to your feminine and you're really communicating, there's going to be things that are revealed to you by your person, and you're going to see the divine design in the timing and why it was now and why you are being called and pushed really so hard to go now. So it is in alignment for you to go now. That being said, don't just take my word for it. Tap into your own intuition, ask for your own signs. When you're asking for signs, make sure it's not something completely ridiculous, like, with all due respect, uh, you know, when I see a polar bear walking down the street of Miami in Florida, then I'll know that it's time. Like, um then it's funny because I just got a vision of like even if you asked for that, you might see a random person in a polar bear costume walking down the street in Miami, and that could fucking definitely happen. Um so okay, ultimately all right. So I guess feel free to ask for a wild sign because you're gonna get it. You're gonna get like if you ask for a particular sign to tell you that divine timing is in alignment for you to go connect with your person now, you're gonna receive that message. So ask for that message, ask for that sign. And when you see it, don't doubt it. Don't fucking get in your head and be like, oh, well, because it wasn't an actual polar bear and it was a person in a polar bear costume, I need it to be an actual real polar bear walking down the streets of Miami. Like, that's where when you get that sign, understand like what are the odds of somebody randomly walking down the street in the middle of summer, which is where we're at now, in the middle of summer in a polar bear costume. Like you were literally given a sign by the divine. Stop doubting it. Sounded a little harsh, but sometimes that's how it comes through. Okay, yeah, this it's in alignment. This is part of your dream reality. You're being called into your dream reality. You have already aligned with that version of yourself that can hold things that you are desiring in your dream reality. And there's still some doubt there. You still don't feel like you're quite there. You still don't feel like you're quite ready, but that's the fear. That's the attachments. That's the ego telling you you're not ready. And you are ready. You are worthy. You're worthy just by being you. You're worthy by being on this path. You're worthy by committing to be your best version and grow and evolve with your person and wanting, because I'm getting this energy of like you want to be the best version of yourself for this person. That is enough. Like that in and of itself is enough for a divine feminine. And, especially because this isn't an energy, like I'm not getting that this is a feminine who has these like external expectations of, I need somebody who makes this amount and does this thing and drives this kind of car. And if they don't have a car that's over X amount, then I'm not going to be with them. That's not who I'm tapping into. I'm not tapping into somebody who's got their eye on a feminine who is like that. Um, I'm tapping into a feminine energy who the boxes that this person has as far as like their list of what they're desiring, you already check all of those boxes. And so just know that this is something where yeah, you are worthy as you are now. So just know that. Alrighty, well, with that, I'm going to go ahead and leave this here. This was a very intense message, so I hope this helps. I hope this resonates. You can let me know in the comments below if you feel called to, if this resonates for you. I would love to hear about it. I'd love to talk to you about it. Feel free to hit that like button. It does help out the channel, so thank you. And if you would like to see more from me, you can hit subscribe. It is free. I will see you on the next message. Bye.